a recap of week one, a look ahead to week two, and three fun things to look forward to at Cardinals home games. Stay tuned.
Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to The Sick Podcast with Kelly Singh.
Murray heaves it downfield. It is caught. It is caught. DeAndre Hopkins. Miraculous. It's Murray magic.
The sickest Arizona Cardinals podcast. It's gonna be sick.
Welcome to the sickest Arizona Cardinals podcast. I'm your host, Kelly Singh, and today I'm going to kick off the show with my co-host, Charlotte Shaff, and the Positivity Playbook. Charlotte, welcome to the show. I'm actually really looking forward to today's Positivity Playbook because you have some really fun things, new additions, new discounts, some discounts we may not have been aware of going into our first home game of the season. Let's talk about it.
Yes. So as a season ticket holder, I've been looking at the different things that I can expect at the game this Sunday. One of the cool things is if you have the app and everything and you're a season ticket holder, you should definitely be checking out the discounts that you get in the team shop and with the food and beverage. I guess it's 10% off for food and beverage, 20% off for the team shop. So make sure you're using your season ticket holder benefits. The Cardinals also shared some information about things that we can expect at the game that are fun and new. They have the happiest hour, which I thought was kind of cool. So if you're one of those people who gets there early and you don't necessarily want to stand out in the heat, which is kind of me, they have something called the happiest hour. So the first hour after the main gates open, that is when fans can get a 20% off discount on beer at select locations. And then they can watch, the guys warming up, that kind of stuff. You also definitely, if you're going to celebrate something like your first game or your birthday or something, you can get little like buttons that say I'm celebrating or happy birthday. So let's do that. And everybody buy them a drink or something when you see them. And another thing, which I think is kind of cool, and I might end up going and checking this out, is the team shop will have an exclusive new pin for each home game. So that might be a cool collector's item. So maybe if you're a collector and you're interested in that kind of stuff, let's check them out. I'll definitely try to get there and see if I can snag one so I can see what they look like.
Yeah, that sounds like fun.
Yeah, I would be definitely interested in seeing what they look like and what they are.
I went into the app because I do remember it's not the easiest thing to find, but basically when you click into the app, you have to click the three dots in the bottom right for more. Then you click my profile and then you click mobile wallet. And then you get a QR code that pops up with for the cashier to scan. And you're right, 10% off food and beverage, 20% off team shop.
I also had to log into my SeatGeek account.
Yes, good point.
So
that was the very first step.
I mean, in the end, I feel like it's for any sort of situation when you're waiting in line to pay for something or do a ticket, is that you should already have this stuff pulled up on your phone. So you're not making everybody behind you wait.
Yeah.
That's mom and me saying, be prepared. Instead of like going through going, I want my discount. So now we know.
I also don't think you can take a screenshot of it because there is a refresh button. So it's a new QR code every time. So be aware of that as well.
Yes, yes. And if you do want to eat something tasty, they do have some new restaurants that are offering items. They have Spinatos, Barrio Queen, Kaizen, Scoopwells. So apparently there's like 50 new food items that are going to be available. So you can never say that there isn't something for you. I'm sure you'll be able to find something yummy and delicious to enjoy while you're watching the game.
We tailgate, but it's been in the green lot typically for us. So we're moving to the orange lot. We have the ability to tailgate on the Great Lawn this year. But there are also several restaurants. There are bars with a bunch of TVs, so you don't have to bring your TV if you're tailgating like we do. You can actually
Yep.
watch them there. So that sounds really exciting too.
Yeah, I think that's smart. I mean, at least right now when it's so hot, honestly, we are in the gray lot. So when we do tailgate, it is hot. It is a scorcher out there. But normally we have a big screen TV in the back of a vehicle and we've got misters and all that kind of stuff. But honestly, I feel as though these are much better options for people who want to be a part of the game day experience instead of just sweating your butt off. I mean, because as soon as it's about time to get going, I can't wait to get into the stadium because of the AC.
For sure. Stay hydrated out there, people.
Yes, please, please.
What else do you have?
Oh, well, I was going to say, I saw some information that the Cardinals shared about the in stadium experience. They've got some new lighting, some new LED ribbon boards. They have a new DJ, and make sure to pay attention to the announcements in regards to fan safety because you will see yours truly talking for about 2 seconds. Along with some amazing Cardinals fans like Red Suze, who was one of our fans of the year, and others. So definitely check out the boards. And if you have anything to celebrate along with getting those buttons, you can easily go onto the Cardinals website and make sure that you sign up for a message like a happy birthday, happy anniversary, will you marry me? That kind of fun stuff. So
Yes.
definitely try to do that.
The answer is yes. Good. I actually hadn't even considered. I'm like, how does that happen? So you need to go on the Cardinals website and submit your message.
Yeah.
Very good information there. Looking forward to 3 home game weekends in a row. I can't wait. It almost feels like I have 3 weeks vacation before I have to come back to the office, but it's not. I'm still working in between.
Yeah, we got to work until we win that lottery.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Okay, next. Last episode, we discussed SI.com and their high school plays of the week. You have an update for us.
Drum roll, please. The winner was Devin Fitzgerald. Yay. I'm so excited for him. So that's a really cool honor for him. And it was definitely a very close race too. There was another guy that was definitely right on his tail. So congratulations to Devin.
And thank you to everybody who took the time to go and visit and vote because we did provide the link. So thanks for that. Love seeing those results.
I love to see the love for Arizona sports in general. So congratulations to everyone.
For sure. The
Mhm.
last topic, I think, is more of let's show some support. Let's show some patience. Last week's game went way better than I think any of us anticipated. However, there was still a little bit of backlash. Why don't you tell us about that?
Yes, well, I think that pretty much everybody, when we saw that last quarter, especially last few minutes of the game, myself included, I was critiquing a lot of the plays making and the situations. I know a lot of people were bummed out to see that Marvin Harrison Jr. was just not getting the ball. There was backlash on that. And then obviously that last play near the end of the game where Marvin was completely open, but he just wasn't able to get the ball because of Kyler. And in the end, I don't think that we necessarily need to be blaming the guys because it's always easy. Hindsight is 2020. We've had a lot of, big VIP Cardinals ex-players that have said, hey, let's stick up for these kids. They're doing okay. We totally get it. Kyler and Marvin didn't have a lot of reps, if any, in the preseason. And even Anquan Bolden said, it's okay. The kid is going to do amazing. Kurt Warner said, you guys, you don't understand how different it is to go from one team to the next and understand the dynamics. So let's give everybody some grace and let's just keep putting out positive vibes and know that they're all going to learn from these situations so they can be a better team the next time they play.
Agreed. Yeah. For what it's worth, it seems like a trend across all games, all of week one, that the star quote unquote receiver was receiving that double coverage. And I see Marvin Harrison Jr. being labeled as that star in this game, making it very difficult for him to get the ball. And unfortunately, I think the only thing everyone's going to remember is that very last play. And also, Kyler's response was a little nonchalant for how passionate the fans are about this game. But yeah, we have to give them time. We have to give them grace. I don't think that trend is going to carry into week 2, because in every game where they were covering that star receiver, you saw players coming out of the woodwork that you haven't heard from in years, scoring touchdowns. Alan Lazard, I can't think of the last time Alan Lazard was announced more than one time, multiple times, multiple touchdowns in a game. I was like, what? We saw running backs on the Baltimore Ravens. Justice Hill was the leading receiver, I think, for that game. Because they're looking for other options. And so now defenses are like, all right, well, we tested it. We got to go back to more of an even coverage. So I think this week is going to look a little more like traditional football.
There you go. I'm very excited to see what's going to happen this weekend.
Me too. And I'm excited to see your face. Well, thank you so much, Charlotte. This was a great episode. It gets me pumped for our first home game. And yeah, we'll be here again next week talking about it. Oh, I've been dying to say this. We're going to be here next week chopping it up. That is like the phrase of the day among like Donnie and the other beat reporters. They're always chopping it up. So
okay. Chopping it up or chomping it?
Chopping
Okay, like
it up.
gators. Oh, chopping. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're going to be chopping it up, apparently.
All right, I'll start putting that into my conversation for the next couple of days. So it's just rolling off my tongue.
It's not rolling off of my tongue either, but the number of times that I've seen it, I'm like, am I supposed to be saying this now?
I love it.
Well, until next week, actually until Sunday, I'll see you, and we'll see everybody else next week. PD, Tutty, taking it to the house, whatever you call a touchdown, they matter more at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. My favorite types of bets are the anytime touchdown. I missed a 5-leg parlay by just one, and I can tell you it makes the game that much more exciting. So here's the deal. Score big with DraftKings Sportsbook, the #1 place to bet on touchdowns. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code SICKSPORTS. That's SICKSPORTS for new customers to get $250 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. And you'll get 1 month of NFL Plus Premium on us. Only on DraftKings, the crown is yours. Now, here's all the legal. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-78-97-777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly on behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort. 21 plus, age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/ftball. NFL Plus premium offer available only to new and former NFL Plus subscribers. Additional NFL Plus premium terms at nfl.com/terms. If you're watching this podcast on YouTube, you probably have noticed I've changed backgrounds a few times, and that's because recording day happened to also be a travel day for me. I'm back in Phoenix getting ready for our home opener. I cannot be more excited than I am right now. We have the Rams visiting the Cardinals, and some of my LA friends are sure to be there. Let's check in on what we should know for this game up against the Rams. Last week, we had the Rams play the Lions, and it was not that exciting of a game. The Rams ended up losing 20-26 to the Lions. It just didn't grab my attention. I really feel good about the Rams going up against the Cardinals this week. Last week, the Cardinals faced off against the Bills in a 28-34 loss. The game was really back and forth, and it was very exciting, far more exciting than I thought it was going to be honest with you. But when we look at the first quarter, the Cardinals had the first touchdown. Second quarter, it was 10-10. So we had a touchdown each, a field goal each. Third quarter, this is where the Bills pulled ahead with 2 touchdowns and no answer from the Cardinals. In the fourth quarter, we have the Cardinals 11, Bills 10 for that final score. 28-34 in favor of the Bills. But if you watch Thursday night's game, Bills versus Dolphins, you will see the Bills seem to dominate, just absolutely dominate. So I don't know, am I putting too much thought into this? Are the Cardinals that good? We knew that they were going to be far better than last year. I was giving them 9 wins, which a lot of people felt was very generous, but man, I'm kind of holding on to that. Let's put some good energy out there. Let's look at some of the stats from last week as we go into this week versus the Rams. Last week against the Lions, Matthew Stafford passed for 317 yards. That is nothing to sneeze at. He had a running back, Kyron Williams, who had a rushing touchdown. He had Cooper Kupp, who actually had a career high, tying 14 receptions for 110 yards. Like, all this sounds so exciting. Was I even watching the same game versus the Lions? You know what I feel like the difference was? When you're reading these stats, you're not getting the defensive end of it. And both the Rams defense and the Lions defense were quite tough. So to me, that game was won by defense. Cooper Kupp had a lot more opportunities because he wasn't sharing targets with Puka Nacua. Puka Nacua is still out on injured reserve. So when they meet up with the Cardinals, we're going to need to be all over Cooper Kupp. Let's look at Kyler Murray last week. Kyler Murray had 162 passing yards last week, and he had 57 rushing yards. This is his 20th career game with 50 plus rushing yards, which is no surprise to us. We know that Kyler can run. There were also 2 touchdowns for him in that game, 1 passing touchdown, 1 rushing touchdown. James Conner, he rushed for 50 yards and a touchdown. James Conner has had touchdowns in 6 straight games. That's obviously including last year because we've only had 1 game. But you know what? I think he's good for another. Let's keep it up against the Rams. DJ Dallas had a 96-yard kick return for a touchdown. Wasn't that exciting? You know you were out of your seat. I certainly was. Michael Wilson had his 4th career touchdown in his 2nd season with the Cardinals. That was super exciting as well. We saw a lot of spreading the ball around. What we didn't see was a lot of Marvin Harrison Jr. He had 1 reception. However, I will say there was a lot of double coverage out there. He was not open. very often. And unfortunately, the time that he was super open did happen to be that very last play of the game where Kyler says he just couldn't see him. It's unfortunate, but what can we do about it? The ball got spread around a lot. If we want to talk about defense, Budda Baker had 10 tackles last week. So this is his 27th career game with 10 or more tackles. That is the most among active DBs and the second most among DBs since 2000. He has had 5 or more tackles in 8 of his last 9 games versus the Rams. So this is a really great opportunity for the Cardinals to pull ahead. Let's look at what Vegas has to say about this week's game, Ram versus Cardinals week 2. Arizona began as a +1 underdog. However, the spread then went to 0, and now the Cardinals are a small favorite at -1. I think all of that had to do with how well the Cardinals played against the Bills and then how well the Bills played against the Dolphins. So in comparison, people are saying, hey, Arizona is a much better team than we had imagined. Also, the Rams are entering this game minus Puka Nacua, who is a huge part of their offense. So they are not at 100%. That's also helping to give us this slight edge. So if you're looking to place any bets, I love a good touchdown bet, as I mentioned in our DraftKings sponsorship. And I would say James Conner is good for one this week. Support the show by buying your favorite fan gear or pop culture gear from Homage. You can find the link in the description wherever you are watching or listening to this podcast. Thanks. And that's a wrap. Thank you so much for listening. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment. It means so much to us, whether you're watching on YouTube or listening on your favorite podcast app. It doesn't matter to us as long as you're here for the ride. Thank you so much to Homage and DraftKings Sportsbooks for sponsoring the show. Thank you to Charlotte for being my co-host. And thank you to our producers for making this all possible. And thank you to you, our listeners, for keeping us coming back each and every week. See you at the game.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow The Sick Podcast with Kelly Singh on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.